The 10 most hazardous coffee pairings that could seriously endanger your health will be discussed in this video. To protect your body, learn which combos to stay away from. Watch the entire video to learn about the most hazardous product and to receive advice on how to enjoy coffee without risk to your health. This is going to be a really useful and educational video. Give it a like, and let's get started if you want to manage your health like an expert. Never drink coffee with dried fruits. This combination can lead to severe health problems, including hypoglycemia, digestive issues, and serious gastrointestinal disorders. At first glance, this pairing might seem harmless. Coffee is invigorating, and dried fruits are considered a healthy snack due to their high fiber, vitamin, and mineral content. However, this seemingly nutritious combination hides a danger that many people are unaware of. The issue is that dried fruits are packed with natural sugars, while caffeine speeds up metabolism and raises adrenaline levels, leading to sharp fluctuations in blood glucose. This creates a significant burden on the pancreas, forcing it to work overtime to stabilize blood sugar levels. Over time, this strain can lead to the development of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. The American Diabetes Association conducted a study where researchers observed people who regularly consumed coffee with fructose-containing products such as raisins, dates, or apricots. The results showed that participants experienced sharp spikes in blood sugar, accompanied by dizziness, fatigue, and an increased risk of metabolic disorders. Experts found that caffeine temporarily suppresses insulin's action, making it harder for the body to process sugar. A telling case involved David Carilli, a 42-year-old accountant from Chicago. David led a sedentary lifestyle but tried to eat healthily, replacing sweets with dried fruits and drinking several cups of strong coffee at work each day. He noticed that after snacks, he felt sudden weakness, sometimes headaches and thirst, but he attributed it to fatigue. However, one day after lunch, he unexpectedly lost consciousness right at his workplace. Doctors diagnosed him with a pre-diabetic condition, and the cause turned out to be his regular combination of coffee and dried fruits, which led to pancreatic exhaustion. Specialists strongly advised him to completely abandon this habit and reconsider his diet. To avoid such issues, it is important to remember that coffee itself has a significant impact on the body, and when combined with foods high in simple carbohydrates, its effects become harmful. If you feel like snacking, it is better to choose nuts or foods with a low glycemic index that do not cause sharp spikes in blood sugar. If you enjoy dried fruits, consume them separately from coffee to reduce the load on the pancreas and prevent metabolic disorders. Additionally, experts from the American Diabetes Association recommend limiting caffeine consumption to 2 cups per day to avoid overloading the body and triggering insulin imbalances. Coffee and chocolate should never be combined. Tachycardia, hypertension, and an elevated risk of heart disease are just a few of the harmful health effects that can result from this combo. Chocolate and coffee are 2 popular goods that many people like to consume together. The rich flavor of dark chocolate is ideally complemented by the invigorating aroma of freshly brewed espresso. However, there is a significant health danger associated with this culinary delight. Both coffee and chocolate are rich in caffeine, and dark chocolate also contains theobromine, a substance similar to caffeine but with an even more pronounced stimulating effect. When these 2 components enter the body simultaneously, their impact on the central nervous system and heart is greatly amplified. This can cause excessive stimulation, rapid heart rate, and sharp fluctuations in blood pressure. Studies conducted by experts from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health have shown that the combination of coffee and chocolate can significantly increase heart rate and raise the risk of hypertension. In one experiment, a group of participants who regularly consumed these products together were more likely to experience symptoms of tachycardia, dizziness, anxiety attacks, and even a feeling of tightness in the chest. Scientists explain that the combination of caffeine and theobromine creates an overload effect for the cardiovascular system, which is particularly dangerous for those predisposed to hypertension and arrhythmia. A striking example of the consequences of this combination was the case of David Henderson, a 50-year-old lawyer from New York. David led a stressful life, juggling court hearings, long hours in the office, and constant deadlines. To stay energetic, he developed the habit of starting each morning with a double espresso and several pieces of dark chocolate. Over time, he began noticing alarming symptoms: sudden spikes in heart rate, panic attacks, dizziness, and the sensation that his heart was about to jump out of his chest. However, he did not pay much attention to it until one day he collapsed in the middle of a courtroom due to a sudden heart attack. Doctors diagnosed him with paroxysmal tachycardia triggered by excessive consumption of caffeine and theobromine. Only after this health scare did David reconsider his diet, eliminate this dangerous combination, and significantly improve his well-being. To avoid such problems, it is important to consume coffee in moderation and avoid combining it with chocolate. If you have a sweet tooth, opt for nuts or fresh fruit instead. If you want to enjoy chocolate, it is better to choose white chocolate, as it does not contain theobromine and does not overload the heart. Experts from Harvard Th. Chan School of Public Health also recommend limiting coffee intake to 1 or 2 cups per day, especially if your diet contains other stimulants. These simple changes can help maintain heart health and prevent unexpected complications. Never drink coffee with spicy food, as this can cause serious stomach and intestinal diseases, including ulcers and gastritis. It can also negatively affect the cardiovascular system. Coffee and spicy food are two powerful irritants that, when consumed separately, already have a strong impact on the body. Caffeine stimulates the secretion of stomach acid, raising acidity and irritating the stomach lining. Spicy food, which contains capsaicin, the active compound in chili peppers, further enhances this effect, causing inflammation and damage to the walls of the stomach and intestines. Together, they create a storm in the digestive system, increasing the risk of developing gastritis, ulcers, and chronic heartburn. Additionally, capsaicin dilates blood vessels, while caffeine causes them to constrict, which can lead to sudden spikes in blood pressure and strain on the heart. Researchers at the Harvard Th. Chan School of Public Health discovered that drinking coffee with spicy food raises the risk of hypertension, inflammation of the stomach lining, and gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. Within 3 months of consistently drinking coffee with spicy foods, 70% of subjects experienced heartburn and stomach pain, and 45% developed signs of gastritis. According to medical professionals, the combination of capsaicin and caffeinated drinks damages the stomach's defenses by fostering an aggressive environment. A notable case involved 46-year-old Mark Rear, the owner of a small restaurant in Austin, Texas. He had always been a fan of spicy Mexican food and could not imagine a morning without a cup of strong coffee. His daily breakfast included scrambled eggs with jalapenos, sandwiches with spicy sauce, and espresso. After several months, he began experiencing constant heartburn and stomach pain, which he initially attributed to stress. However, one day, after another spicy meal, he developed sharp stomach pain accompanied by nausea. Doctors diagnosed him with an ulcer caused by the constant irritation of the stomach lining due to the combination of coffee and spicy food. Medical professionals stabilized his condition, but Mark had to completely abandon this habit and switch to a gentler diet. To avoid such problems, it is best to avoid drinking coffee with spicy food. If you enjoy spicy dishes, wash them down with neutral drinks like water or milk. The proteins in milk can neutralize the effects of capsaicin, protecting the stomach lining. Doctors also recommend avoiding spicy food on an empty stomach and limiting caffeine intake to 1 or 2 cups per day to minimize strain on the stomach and heart. Drinking coffee with sugar-containing products can have a serious impact on glucose levels. The caffeine in coffee stimulates the release of adrenaline, enhancing this effect and triggering an increase in insulin levels. This creates a double burden on the pancreas and accelerates the development of insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes and metabolic disorders. Research conducted by the American Diabetes Association showed that combining coffee with products high in added sugar increases the risk of insulin resistance. In the study, 50% of participants who regularly consume coffee with sugar-containing products experienced sharp blood sugar spikes, fatigue, and increased appetite. Scientists explain that this combination not only increases the risk of metabolic disorders, but also leads to overeating due to the sharp fluctuations in glucose levels. A clear example of this is the case of 41-year-old Richard Collins, a financial consultant from Chicago. He was always busy with work and thought that coffee with sweetened yogurt was a quick and convenient way to start his day. However, after several months, he began noticing strange changes. After his morning coffee, he felt energized, but within an hour, he experienced severe fatigue and hunger. This led him to snack more, which ultimately resulted in weight gain. When he began experiencing frequent headaches and constant thirst, he decided to visit a doctor. Tests showed that he was in a pre-diabetic state and had early signs of insulin resistance. Doctors explained that his habit of combining coffee with sugar-containing products had overloaded his pancreas, causing his body to no longer effectively regulate glucose levels. To avoid these consequences, it is important to replace sweetened yogurts with natural ones that contain no added sugar. These contain probiotics and help maintain healthy gut flora without causing sharp spikes in blood sugar levels. If you want to add sweetness, consider using fresh berries or nuts. Additionally, the American Heart Association recommends limiting sugar intake to reduce the strain on the cardiovascular system and maintain stable glucose levels. Drinking coffee with baked goods can lead to obesity, cardiovascular diseases, and an increased risk of diabetes. A hot cup of coffee paired with a fresh pastry is a morning ritual for millions of people worldwide. However, this combination is a real trap for your metabolism. Baked goods, whether it's a croissant, muffin, or donut, contain a large amount of refined carbohydrates and added sugar, which cause a rapid spike in blood glucose levels. Meanwhile, caffeine stimulates the release of adrenaline, amplifying this effect and causing the body to go into energy swings. A sudden burst of alertness followed by an equally rapid drop in energy and an overwhelming feeling of hunger. This process leads to overeating and puts a strain on the pancreas, which over time can result in insulin resistance. People who frequently eat baked goods with coffee are twice as likely to have metabolic syndrome, which encompasses obesity, hypertension, and prediabetes, according to a Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health study. According to the study, people who started their day with coffee and sugar had sudden rises in their insulin levels and more desires for carbohydrates all day long. According to researchers, this diet leads to the buildup of fat in the abdomen, which is a warning sign for the cardiovascular system. A telling case is that of 37-year-old Thomas Wilson, a lawyer from Atlanta. Thomas had a routine of having breakfast at a nearby coffee shop. A latte with sugar and 2 donuts was his daily morning habit. He thought a little indulgence wouldn't hurt since he stayed active during the day. However, after several months, he started to notice that he constantly lacked energy, felt sleepy by noon, and his weight was gradually increasing despite his active lifestyle. When he began experiencing frequent headaches and bouts of weakness, he decided to see a doctor. Tests revealed insulin resistance and high cholesterol levels. Doctors explained that his usual breakfast was placing a significant burden on his body, leading to metabolic imbalances. Thomas had to give up sweet pastries and replace them with healthier options, and within a few weeks, he felt a significant improvement in his health. How can you avoid these issues? Replace baked goods with whole grain products, nuts, or lean protein sources. These foods will provide your body with energy without causing sharp spikes in sugar levels. If you'd like to add sweetness, try adding some cinnamon to your morning coffee. It not only enhances the flavor, but also helps stabilize blood glucose levels. Experts from the American Heart Association recommend limiting sugar and refined carbohydrate intake to prevent cardiovascular diseases and maintain stable energy levels throughout the day. Drinking coffee with fatty foods can lead to serious health problems, including cardiovascular diseases, liver issues, and digestive disorders. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee paired with crispy bacon or fried sausages for breakfast may seem like a classic way to start the day, providing energy and alertness. However, this tempting combination hides significant risks. Fatty foods slow down digestion, placing extra strain on the stomach and liver. Meanwhile, caffeine stimulates the production of stomach acid, which can lead to heartburn, inflammation of the stomach lining, and even gastritis. The combination of coffee and saturated fats raises harmful cholesterol levels, which over time can cause clogged arteries and cardiovascular disorders. This is even more alarming. Regular coffee drinkers who also eat fatty foods are more likely to have greater cholesterol and a higher risk of atherosclerosis, a hazardous condition when fat deposits clog arteries, according to a study by the American Heart Association. A striking example is the case of 42-year-old James Randall, an auto repair shop owner from Dallas. James had always been an active man, but his eating habits were far from ideal. Every morning he stopped by his favorite diner for a breakfast of eggs with bacon and a strong cup of black coffee. He believed this hearty meal kept him energized throughout the day. However, after several months, he began to notice alarming symptoms: frequent dizziness, shortness of breath while walking, and discomfort in his chest. One day, after experiencing a sharp pain on his left side, he was forced to seek medical attention. Tests revealed critically high cholesterol levels and early signs of coronary artery disease. Doctors explained that his habit of combining fatty foods with coffee was a major factor in overloading his cardiovascular system. To avoid such health risks, it is best to replace fatty foods with lighter, healthier alternatives. Instead of bacon and greasy sausages, opt for lean meats, fish, or plant-based protein sources like avocado or nuts. A balanced breakfast should also include fiber-rich foods such as oatmeal, berries, or whole grain bread, which help maintain stable blood sugar levels and improve digestion. The American Diabetes Association advises against pairing coffee with saturated fats and high-calorie foods to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and promote long-term health. Drinking coffee with alcohol can lead to serious health problems, including alcoholism, liver disease, and cardiovascular disorders. Coffee and alcohol have opposite effects on the body, but when consumed together, they create a false sense of alertness that masks the real level of intoxication. Caffeine acts as a stimulant, suppressing drowsiness and making a person feel more sober than they actually are. This often leads to excessive alcohol consumption, increasing the risk of intoxication and dependence. A study conducted by the National Institutes of Health revealed that drinking coffee with alcohol increases the risk of developing alcoholic hepatitis and liver cirrhosis. Researchers found that this combination slows down the breakdown of ethanol, prolonging its effects on the body and accelerating liver cell damage. Furthermore, participants who regularly consumed coffee with alcohol developed a higher tolerance to alcohol, making them more prone to addiction. Michael Rivers, a 35-year-old Miami bartender, is one notable example. An espresso and a drink of strong liquor was a traditional way for Michael to round off his shifts. He didn't realize how his alcohol consumption gradually rose over time, but he thought that coffee kept him awake after a long workday. A few years later, he began to have liver issues, which included ongoing exhaustion, right-sided soreness, and an overall deterioration in his health. He was sent to the hospital after collapsing at work one day. He was diagnosed by doctors with early-stage cirrhosis and fatty liver disease, both of which were brought on by chronic liver stress. To avoid such dangerous consequences, it is best to avoid caffeine while consuming alcohol. Now let's move on to the next video. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.